Hello, welcome to Scott's Odyssey. Today we find ourselves in Mapleton, Pennsylvania, visiting the site of one of America's greatest patriotic songwriters, Marion Samuel Cree. See you in a minute. Welcome back. If you've watched my videos before, thank you for your patronage, and I hope you enjoy this story of one of the most patriotic songwriters in the United States history. I'd like to politely request that you stop finding my channel by accident. Click the like and subscribe now, because it will increase your chances of seeing this fine, entertaining content when it's released, and will lower my chances of selling my children off as indentured fair ride operators, because nobody wants their children to become carnies. If you're new to Scott's Odyssey, welcome aboard, and please take a moment to click subscribe for more of this journey through ODDySEEy's stories of who we once were, and, well, the other reasons aforementioned just a moment ago. The year was 1917, and on April 2nd, the United States had just entered into the First World War, which had been raging for almost 4 years now. As the European allies of the United States were waning in power and efforts in the war, the news of the United States joining the fight brought about a new vigor to the potential victory for countries such as Britain and France, whom had already been buried neck deep in the atrocities that this war wrought upon their people.
Over there.
The downside was the fact that the United States had no field experienced military to speak of. Most of all, even after being the inventors, pioneers, and the first in flight, had no branch of military with aircraft. Not to say that America didn't use aircraft, just that it wasn't for fighting. Between 1910 and 1914, the United States tested the use of aircraft for military warfare purposes to no avail, and ultimately kept aircraft dedicated to the Aeronautical Division of the Signal Corps. Established in 1860, the United States Army Signal Corps, or USASC, was a branch of the U.S. Army that created and managed communications for the command and control of combined armed forces. Exactly the function of the United States Air Force Space Command from 1982 to 2019, and which has now been absorbed by the Space Warfare Service branch named the United States Space Force. In June of 1917, 2 months after declaring war against those oppressing our allies in Europe, the United States formed the Air Service as an aviation combat force and part of the American Expeditionary Force. Needless to say, patriotism in the United States was at an all-time high before we entered into the Great War, and the ability to serve your country in this time of perilous need and save the innocent allied nations from subjugation and ultimate decimation, well, leads to Uncle Sam wanting you for the U.S. Army. On the 31st of July in 1917, a man born in the borough of Mapleton, Huntingdon County, Pennsylvania, heard the call and enlisted in the United States Army American Expeditionary Force Air Service. This man was Marion Samuel Sam Cree, or as he was known to his family and friends, Tink. Sam served from 1917 until the end of the war and his discharge in August of 1919. When he returned home, he operated a welding business in the city of Washington, Pennsylvania, just southwest of Pittsburgh. Sam was well known for being a singer and a composer of patriotic songs, and when it came to family get-togethers or war veteran events, everyone gathered round to hear his songs be sung. Some of his songs were even published, such as Our Liberty Bell and Hello George Hello, a song most likely about the funny military story from the Army-Navy Journal regarding Admiral Dewey and his parrot, where when the admiral would enter the building, the parrot would say, "Hello, George, hello. George Dewey, walk in, George." At the Rainbow's End, which was later adapted and sung by the Osmond Brothers in the early 1960s as a quartet, and later as the quintet band, the Osmonds. Dit 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 Doll, which was a song using Morse code to spell the letter V for victory, along with a good number of other songs. But the one we want to focus on for this video is a song that all of Sam's family wanted to hear and all of his military battle buddies loved. A melody and lyrics that are legally attributed to Marion Samuel Cree of Washington, PA, and listed in the Official Music Archives catalog as published song arrangement number 275472 under the name of blank. Nothing. There's nothing there. The song name is missing, the melody is missing, and the lyrics are missing. But the song is attributed to him within an appropriate time frame for the subject of this video. Let me know in the comments below if you know of stories and locations such as this one regarding one of the most patriotic songwriters in United States history. My research is limited only by the information that people don't share openly. Help me break that barrier, and let's share the history and culture of who we once were. If you haven't already, remember to like this video and subscribe for more ODDySEEy stories of who we once were. Now, some more backstory before we do a reveal. Due to the American citizens' lackadaisical attitude towards singing the Star-Spangled Banner,
whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night,
O'er the rampant we watch through the twilight's last gleaming,
whose broad stripes and bright stars were so gallantly there, as though rockets were there, and the twilight's last gleaming, and the rockets' red glare were so gallantly there. Burst stripes were all there, and the rockets were there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet glaze?
through the night,
Due to the American citizens' lackadaisical attitude towards singing the Star-Spangled Banner, a request out of Tin Pan Alley was run as an advertisement in a veterans magazine and was seeking other composers to write and enter a song that could replace our national anthem. Tin Pan Alley was the name used to refer to West 28th Street between 5th and 6th Avenues in the Flower District of Manhattan, New York City. It's where the music publishers and songwriters whom dominated popular music from the late 1800s and into the mid-1900s had their studios and their theaters. The name Tin Pan Alley came about in the 1800s due to the constant sound of upright pianos making the tinny sound of hitting a pan at all hours of the day and night. Seeing this advertisement in a veterans magazine and being a World War I veteran as well as a patriotic songwriter, Sam seized the opportunity to send out his locally famous and most acclaimed song to be potentially published and even maybe have it become the new national anthem of this country he so loved. The owner of this particular publishing house was none other than the Russian Jew immigrant Israel Berlin, who unfortunately was in dire financial troubles between the years of 1934 and 1937. Without hesitation, Marion Samuel Cree nailed off the melody and the lyrics of his song, God Bless America. Some time passed and Sam heard nothing from the publishing house regarding his song. On November 12th of 1938, a few co-workers gave Sam congratulations. To Sam's surprise, they told him that they had heard Kate Smith sing his song on the radio last night in celebration of Armistice Day. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, a cessation of hostilities known as an armistice was declared between Germany and the Allied nations in World War I. Armistice Day became a federal holiday on November 11th, 1938. In 1954, Republican President Dwight D. Eisenhower changed the name of Armistice Day to Veterans Day in order to include not just veterans of World War I, but of World War II and the Korean conflict. In 1968, Democrat President Lyndon B. Johnson moved the celebration of Veterans Day to the fourth Monday in October in order to clump it in with all other federal holidays. In 1975, Republican President Gerald Ford returned Veterans Day to November 11th due to the importance and historical significance of that date. Kate Smith was known as the First Lady of Radio and was an up-and-coming American singer, known best for her singing of the song God Bless America, which blasted her recording career into a 5-decade-long run as the songbird of the South. The song God Bless America immediately gained overnight success and was fully attributed to Irving Berlin as another of his greatest hits. That's right, Irving Berlin gained the attribute of authorship in Kate Smith for the singing. Nothing of writer-composer Marion Samuel Cree. Sam immediately began legal proceedings to retain his authorship of the song. Although the lyrics of Irving Berlin's version were different, the melody and the chorus remained exactly the same. The litigation continued for 15 years, ending in 1957, with the courts giving favor to Irving Berlin and his publishing house under the ruling that the publishing house provisions dictated that all songs submitted were to become the property of the publishing house. It was now the summer of 1957. Marion Samuel Cree was now 62 years old with a bad heart, made even worse by losing his beloved song and being both emotionally and financially drained from this ordeal. He went back to Mapleton, Pennsylvania, where he was born, and he picked his cemetery plot near the top of the Mapleton International Order of Odd Fellows Cemetery. On November 4th of that same year, Marion Samuel Cree died at his home in Washington, Pennsylvania. But just before his death, Sam assured that his song would go with him and had a 3-foot by 6-foot granite slab engraved with the 3 verses and the chorus of his song, God Bless America. Although there's a lot of theft throughout history, and the stories are often told by the victors, some occasions require us to not attribute the victors, but to give credit where credit is due. Without a doubt, and even as the court proceedings identified, Marion Samuel Cree was the writer and composer of God Bless America. The owner of the song became Irving Berlin. That doesn't make Irving Berlin the writer, composer, nor the author of the song any more than record labels are the writers, composers, or authors of the songs by their artists. Share this video with as many people as you can, and let's get appropriate attribution made to Marion Samuel Cree for one of the greatest patriotic songs ever written under the flag of these United States. Let's help Tink rest in peace. He earned it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.